Tonight, I'd like to take you outside for a moment. Not far. Just to a quiet place near a window, or a back garden, where the air feels still. Imagine Jupiter as a bright, steady lantern in the dark. And beside it, 4 tiny points of light. Small enough to miss if you don't know to look, but persistent once you do. This is Curious Nights. And tonight's episode is called Jupiter's Moons, 4 tiny worlds with big personalities. We'll move slowly. We'll meet Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. And we'll keep coming back to one soothing thought. In space, even small worlds can be complicated. Let's begin with the first hook in this story. 4 lights that refuse to stay put. In the early 17th century, Galileo Galilei aimed a telescope at Jupiter. And he saw points of light nearby, changing position night after night. At first, they could look like ordinary stars. But stars don't arrange themselves in a neat line beside a planet, and then swap sides in a steady rhythm. What he was seeing was simple and profound. Moons orbiting something other than Earth. A miniature system, moving according to its own center. Tonight, we're not here to rush through dates or arguments. Just to notice the feeling of that discovery. A bright planet. 4 companions. And a pattern that quietly changes how you think the universe is organized. If these moons were only rocks circling a planet, we wouldn't still be talking about them. What makes them unforgettable is that each one behaves like its own world. Io is the restless one. Europa is the quiet one with a secret. Ganymede is the large one, with its own internal strength. And Callisto is the old one, scarred by time. And here's the retention trick that also happens to be true. They are linked. Not emotionally, of course, but physically, by gravity. Their orbits interact in a stable rhythm called a resonance. It's like a repeating beat that keeps them in step. And that steady beat helps shape their interiors. It helps decide which moons stay warm inside, and which grow quiet and cold. Let's meet Io first. Because Io is impossible to ignore. Io is the most volcanically active world we know of in the solar system. Its surface is reshaped again and again by eruptions. Not a gentle geological pace. A relentless one. Why would a small moon be so energetic? The key idea is tidal heating. Jupiter's gravity pulls on Io. And because Io's orbit is influenced by its neighboring moons, that pull varies. So Io is flexed, over and over. Like a paperclip bent repeatedly. Only here the bending happens in rock. And the heat has to go somewhere. If you picture Io in the dark, you can almost imagine faint, hot points on its surface. not city lights. Volcanic fire. A world that cannot quite sit still. Now, Europa. If Io is heat on the outside, Europa is motion hidden under ice. Europa's surface is bright and smooth compared with many moons. And it is crossed with long, dark lines and fractured patterns. Those cracks are part of what makes Europa so compelling. They hint that the ice shell has shifted and moved. That something has pushed from below. Scientists have multiple lines of evidence suggesting Europa may have a global ocean beneath its ice. We should keep the language careful. We are not listening to waves directly. We are inferring from measurements, from magnetic effects, and from the surface itself. But even the careful version is extraordinary. A dark ocean, sealed away from sunlight. Possibly warmed by the same gravitational flexing we just talked about. And in that thought, you can feel why Europa holds attention. It is a quiet invitation to imagine chemistry, time, and maybe, one day, life. Now we come to the last two of the four. And they changed the mood again. Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system. It's bigger than the planet Mercury. And it has something unique among moons. A magnetic field of its own. A magnetic field suggests an active interior. Some kind of moving, electrically conducting material below the surface. It's another reminder that these are not passive lumps of ice and stone. Callisto, by contrast, feels like a record of time. It is heavily cratered. Its surface looks ancient and quiet. Less reworked by internal heat. And still, Callisto has its own interest. Even a world that seems inactive can hide layers and complexity beneath a calm exterior. In a set of 4 moons, Callisto plays an important role. It shows us what it looks like when a world mostly keeps its old scars. Let's gather the 4 moons gently. Io, hot and constantly reshaped. Europa, bright ice with a hint of an ocean below. Ganymede, vast and quietly powerful. And Callisto, old and cratered, holding its history on its face. What keeps the story coherent is gravity. Not just Jupiter's pull, but the way the moons tug on one another in repeating rhythms. That rhythm helps decide which interiors stay warm enough to move. And now we can let the science soften into a picture. A bright planet hanging in the dark. 4 small worlds circling it like companions. Each with its own pace. Each with its own texture. Each quietly insisting that a moon can be a world. You don't have to keep any of the names. Just the feeling that there are places out there that are small in the sky, but enormous in detail. Good night.